You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I can do those things because I'm not a hero. I'm whatever Gotham needs me to be.
They'll hunt you.
You'll hunt me. You'll condemn me. Set the dogs on me. Because that's what needs to happen. Because sometimes the truth isn't good enough. Sometimes people deserve more. Sometimes people deserve to have their faith rewarded.
I wish I could play this clip for you guys, but I can't, because the last time I put up a clip, even on alternate channel where I made it unlisted and I attached it as adult, it still got taken down and I still got a warning for it. So I definitely do not want to do it with this one, because if anybody saw the last clip I actually linked on, and it was actually was on my platform, I can tell you, okay, this one is probably worse. It's something that it's on World Star Hip Hop, but it probably should be on a porn site. It really should. But be that as it may, and again, this is in New York, where they've decriminalized prostitution. And what I said probably would go on is going on. Like people are looking at the streetwalkers, right, that have pimps and whatnot. I would say streetwalkers are mid-level. People think that streetwalkers are low-level, but I would call them mid-level. Mid-level prostitutes, or I would say strippers, streetwalkers that are not renegade, that have pimps, and even, you know, the so-called call girls, the low-level call girls that you used to find on Backpage and the other services that have replaced Backpage. I call them mid-levels. Those are what I call mid-level diesels. Now, the real call girls, the real ones where you have to have an invitation and have a recommendation, the high-level call girls that the CEOs and the lawyers and whatnot that cost $1,500 a night or something like that. Okay, those are higher-level call girls. Those are the girls that you can actually take to a function or a private party or something like that. Those are the elite amongst diesels or call girls, right? But we don't talk much about what we call the renegade. I don't even call them hookers. We call them renegade street hoes, for lack of a better term. Okay, these are the random poor women that are trying to survive, right? And these are the low-level diesels. And they really become more prominent during economic stress. Like, I could tell you, I saw these type of women out in the crack era when the crack actually ran through the whole neighborhood and people were going bust and bankrupt because they couldn't kick the stuff, and the women got caught up on it, and once they ran out of their normal guys, they hit the streets. The price of punani just plummeted, and that was economic stress or social stress that hit a small segment of the nation, right? Black community even back then was only 10%, maybe a little bit more, at 12% of the country, of the population. What happens when it's economic stress that hits the whole population? And instead of it being drugs, it's just purely economic. Now, I've said a couple years ago that when these programs start winding up and they started threatening to put these women on the street, not just black women, but all women on the street, that you're going to start seeing what I call coffee girls, right? And if you hit the link, I'm not sure whether to put the link in the description or in the comment section. I'm probably going to put it in the comment section to be extra safe because, like I say, YouTube is tripping. But it is World Star Hip Hop, and somebody sent me this. And some of you guys probably have already seen it. And what is going on is you have two white diesels, two white coffee girls, having random sex, I'm sure it's for money, with black men in broad daylight on a New York street. Two separate incidences, not one and the same. Two separate instances. One chick, she looked to be like in her, she looked kind of chubby, but she looked to be like in her 30s. And then the other woman, the last woman, was actually servicing two guys at the same time. And she looked to be in her 20s. And at first, I didn't know what I was looking at. At first, I said, man, this is really odd. And then when I found out it was more than one incident, I said, wow, this is really happening. And this is what is filmed. So if it's filmed, it's probably happening a lot more. And if it's in broad daylight, you imagine what's going on in the evening or at night. And these are the true, what I call coffee girls. Now, I don't know exactly how much was exchanged for sex. I'm sure if they did it on the street just like this, it was a very small amount, maybe at best $10. And I'm sure these girls were either homeless or near homeless and probably had a slight addiction here or there. What I can't swear to it because neither girl looked particularly high, but I'm sure to do that in broad daylight, you have to be at least numb. But this is the kind of economic stress that I was talking about. And basically, they've put a floor underneath this. They put a safety net underneath this to keep the majority of people like this, women like this, in place so they don't have to do this. And these are the cracks, or the holes in the net that people are actually slipping through. And I just talked about an article from New York Post just yesterday about decriminalization of prostitution and the women actually walking the beat and getting customers. Okay, like I said, those women are mid-level. I've read other stories about the call girls, about the back page girls getting busy, and their prices are getting lower. Now, if they start decriminalizing prostitution, you might have a whole bunch of what you see on this tape happening all over, right? With poor men and poor women getting together. And so the men cannot afford a girlfriend or whatnot. And it's far easier to just walk down the street, pick up one of these girls, get busy for your 10 or 15 minutes, just like these gentlemen did. Get your satisfaction, pull your pants up and walk on. And this is early. What happens when they have a whole bunch of competition and the price drops even further? It's going to get interesting. And the thing is that I've said that I believe that this could happen, right? Because I've seen it before. And if you've seen something before, the first time I saw it, it was shocking to me. But, after you see it for like 10 years, then it's like commonplace. And I knew this had the same feeling, even though it was a different circumstance, the same feeling on what happened back then, because I'm noticing the feel from the women. It's eerily similar. The only difference is between then and now is that there were a lot more men in position to actually bail out the women out of their condition. Now, everybody's at an even playing field. There aren't any men to bail these women out. There aren't any men to take these women in. There are way too many because it's not just black women, it's all women. And the men are almost in the same position as the women are. And the only thing the women have to trade for is what they were born with, which is on display publicly on a New York street. I guess it was so commonplace, the guys didn't even flinch because they were observed by a whole bunch of, they weren't surrounded, but the thing is, they were actually observed by 3-4 people. And the first guy, you can see the traffic. That's like if I put the picture, the only picture I could actually capture and put up is the one that you see, the one that you saw, with you just seeing his head and shoulders above the car. Because if I had captured more and actually put it up, trust and believe YouTube would have given me a strike. But I can't give you a full view. That's like I'm saying, it's probably better that you hit the link, go over to World Star Hip Hop, see it for yourself and see what I'm talking about. I always say, be careful what you wish for. And like this video may be funny. And in a sense it is. It may be funny. And it's not even pointed at black women because the women in the video are not black. They are white. They are definitely white. And they're servicing black men just like it's nothing. And what happens when that playing field gets leveled so much that white women are put in the same position as black women? Because it didn't take that many women, many black women, to actually run through and wreck the black community. I don't even think you put a million black women on that stuff and on the street. Possible, but I don't think it was a million women. If this video is any indication of what could be possible, and this is just me, you have 160 million women in this country. If the bottom 10% succumb to these acts, you're just talking about the bottom 10%, you talk about 16 million women. If just 5%, half of that, which is a relatively easily attainable number, resort to this, talking about 8 million women. Throughout the history of the United States, and this is my opinion, history of the United States, there's never been more than 1 million prostitutes of both sexes, of either sex at one time in the United States. So basically, you're talking about much less than 1%. So if you have 1 million prostitutes in the United States that actually do this, actually ply their trade, and I'm talking about from the call girls, high collar call girls, all the way down to the lot lizards, downtown to the common street hoes that we're talking about. Never more than 1 million. If you do the math about percentages, right? 1% is 3, right? 1 million is a third of that. So we're talking about a third of a percentage point at any one time. And you're talking about, you're talking about basically dumping, 3 times that amount? 10 times that amount onto the street at once? What is that going to do to relationships? What is that going to do to neighborhoods? What is that going to do to even what sex is actually worth? Because you're going to flood the market with supply. And what if it's not just 5%? What if it goes up to 10? What if it goes up to 15 or 20? What if you dump 10, 15, 20 million women onto the street doing this kind of stuff? Right now, it's still a small percentage. It's still a very small percentage. And most of the prostitutes used to be black. What happens when you put white and Latinas and you put Asians all on the street at the same time in great quantities in all 50 states? I always tell black men, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. And if this video is any indication of what's happening already, then whoa, Nelly, hold on to your horses, tighten up your chin straps, because Kansas is getting ready to go bye-bye in a hurry. And I don't think men in this country, especially black men, are actually ready for this. Talk about a hopocalypse. This is going to be a hopocalypse like you've never seen in this country before, if this goes down. Now, I'm even hoping, because as black pill as I am, I'm hoping that the government can kind of step up and soften this landing a bit, which under COVID, they really haven't. If we get a third wave of COVID, man, well, that's a video for another day. That is a video for another day. I'm just sticking to this one because I had this discussion on Char Willie's channel, and black women are so freaking hard-headed, they cannot see the forest for the trees. They're like standing in front of a freight train with the horns blaring and the lights on, and they're standing there like a deer in headlights and not moving. I refuse to believe I'm going to get run over by this train, even though it's coming at you at 80 miles an hour. I just refuse to get out of the way. And sometimes black women need to sit down, shut up, and listen. And this is one of those times. And they're not sitting down, shutting up, and listen. They need to find a man. They need to find their man. They need to come together with a man, work with him, and be humble so that you can get through this. But I know black women are not. And trust and believe, if you do not, the white and Latina women are actually going to do it. They are not going to get stuck out here in this cold, hard, cruel world without no man. Because you see where you will actually go, what will happen to you if you're out there renegade without no man. And these are not black women. These are white women. These are supposed to be the protected class in the United States. And this is happening to them. If it's happening to them, what do you think they're going to do with black women? And to paraphrase Papa Pope from the TV series Scandal, this is white women versus you. Whose reputation do you think they will protect? Whose body do you think they will bury? And trust and believe, your reputation, black woman, is not going to be protected on this one. And if they can't protect their own woman, sister girl, you ain't got a shot. You need to wise up. And brothers, even though it looks good, like they say in dominoes, all money ain't good money, right? And all punani ain't good punani. You're going to have a whole bunch of predatory women out there trying to survive and pull you under so that they can survive. Be doubly aware about this crisis. And trust and believe, I'm sure black women have no problem throwing you under the bus so them and their children can survive. Be doubly aware, because you get caught up in this, trust and believe, when the hammer comes down, there will be no mercy shown to you. You didn't heed my warning before, 2 years ago, when I said they were coming back to the table. You didn't heed my warning when I said the coffee girls, you're going to see the rise of the coffee girls. I think you should listen to me now, because if this video is any indication, and this is just 2 random videos put together, word to the wise, word to your mother. Stay focused, keep your wits about you, and protect your neck at all times. Anyway, that's all I got for this one, brothers. This is BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.